as you can see, the last demonstration was of nonverbal communication. In nonverbal communication, you're gonna do anything that requires not talking. So for instance, I was giving Brady a compliment on the shiny new watch that he had on his hand. I didn't have to speak to do so, but the gestures that I made, the thumbs up, the smile, the nod, all pointed towards the fact that I was very impressed.
Hey man, nice package.
Thanks, man.
Wait, did someone say nice package?
Yeah, come take a look at this.
Oh my gosh, that's a nice
Dude!
That's
Wow,
an
you got a
absolutely
fucking
massive package.
Hey, can I check?
Yeah, I'd love to.
package.
So as you see in the previous video, Blake Horn complimented Brady on his package, and this demonstrates interpersonal communication and also communication in groups, because after Blake broke the barrier of communication between the two, everybody else came out of the stalls and complimented Brady on his package as well, because they were interested in that. And they showed interest by maintaining eye contact and by using hand gestures, as well as holding a conversation about the topic they were interested in. And if you notice with the sound of the video, their tone also went up and down to show how passionately they felt about the topic at hand. Hey man, you should really drink this water.
I'm good.
Well, actually, it's statistically proven that your body needs 60% water, and you're only at 59% right now. That's what I'm hearing.
I think I'm good.
Well, you just looked really parched out there, and it makes me sad to see you so thirsty. So, you want to just take this water?
No, I appreciate the thought, but I really don't want it.
Okay, well, fun fact, LeBron James actually used this water in his most recent game. He said that Carter Hill should drink it.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
So as you could tell in that example of persuasive speaking, he used ethos by saying that LeBron James drank the water and that he wanted Carter Hill to drink it. He used logos by providing a statistic of how his water needs, or his body needs 60% water, and that he only had 59%. He used pathos by saying he felt bad for him because he looked really parched and he needed water. So then Carter Hill proceeded to take the water after he persuaded him.
So, what are a couple ways that we can persuade our audience more? The first thing we can do, like Brady said, is use ethos. We have to establish credibility. Let our audience know that what we're talking about is the right stuff and we got the goods. The second is our pathos. Our pathos is our
Appeal to emotion.
appeal to emotion. We want people to feel what we're saying. We want them to know in their hearts and in their minds that what we're saying, what we're trying to get them to do, is what's best for everyone involved. And finally, our logos. Our logos is the straight facts, baby. We want them to know that not only is this a chance at being a great thing, what we're trying to convince them to do is a chance at being great. We want them to know that it's going to be great. And how do you know? With the cold, hard numbers.
You know, I really just can't stand that guy, man.
Yeah, me neither. He's just a tool bag.
Yeah, sometimes I really just want to punch him in the face.
Have you seen his shirt?
You guys talking crap?
What?
You say you want to punch me in the face?
We're talking about you. You took this out of context.
So, what we were talking about was not what Brady thought. He walked in on a conversation and did not get the right context. He was dropping in out of context. We were talking about a guy's shirt and punching him in the face, giving him a right knuckle sandwich. But we really weren't talking about Brady like he thought. Instead, we were talking about Sam Stookie, who deserves a knuckle sandwich.
In order to not talk out of context, first we need to establish and make sure that no one is in our surroundings and will take it out of context. Another thing we can do is when we're talking about someone, we can establish who we're actually talking about. So, for example, when we were talking about Brady, we weren't referring to Brady, we were referring to Sam Stuckey. So instead of saying he, we can say Sam Stuckey really needs to get punched in the face.
Yo, Carson, 100K or dinner with Jay-Z?
And why?
And why?
100K probably,
Why?
because then I can get more dinner.
What else could you eat? What would you choose?
What would you do with 100K?
I don't know.
Would you eat a golden steak?
Probably not. Seems like
Would you buy a golden toilet?
That'd be pretty cool.
Would you buy a clear toilet so you can see your food?
That'd be terrible.
Okay, thanks, Carson.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So that was an example of impromptu speaking because, as you see, my friend Blake and I approached Carson in the wild, and he didn't know what to do at first because he was put on the spot. He didn't have a plan for what we were going to ask him or what he was going to say. And so he had to ask himself questions like, why did I pick this, and how can I build off of this answer? And as you saw there, this was his first time doing impromptu speaking, so he wasn't as good at it as most of the students in our class should be. So let's show you what it looks like to be a skilled impromptu speaker.
Feels great just because, sitting in these stands watching the people before you win regionals and then not being able to do that for a while, it means everything, just kind of bring that culture back a little bit.
What did you see out of the team on Friday?
I saw a resilient group because there were times where, it did feel a little bit down and it felt like the momentum wasn't our way, but eventually we picked up and had a really big swing in the third quarter to pull away.
For the season that you guys had to finally get everyone kind of back together and get that regional championship, what does that mean?
It means the world because, in a small town like here, you all grow up playing together, and just playing with your best friends instead of playing with, the kids however many years younger than you just means just a little bit more.
What do you know about the Braves, and what are you looking at with that one?
We know a lot. We're very familiar. We've played them since forever. We used to be in the Apollo Conference, and just kind of growing up against those guys too. We know that they're good enough to beat anyone, but I think we are too, so we're excited.
Hey, what's up, man?
What?
How are you doing?
What'd you say?
How's your teepee holding up?
Oh, my teepee, yeah. It's going great.
Growing a lot of corn recently?
Yeah, a lot of corn, actually.
How about the toboggan?
Oh, the toboggan. Yep.
Sledding on it?
Sledding on it.
Yep.
Yep.
See ya.
See ya. What just happened there was an example of intercultural communication. Brady at first communicated to the Native American, and the Native American didn't understand what he was saying. However, then Brady used terms that the Native American could understand, that were familiar with him. So, for example, like corn or teepee or toboggan. Yeah.
Hey, seems like you need some help sliding down the ramp.
Yeah, I
Let me teach you.
Thanks, man. So first, I'm gonna establish a nice balancing point on the good old ramp. Then, get a nice grip on it. You just gotta let your body flow down the ramp. Okay, I got it. Let me try again. Hey, nice shot, man.
So that right there, that was an example of demonstration speech. What Brady did is that he saw me fail, and so he took that and he gave me a step-by-step process, starting with getting a stable base and then sliding down the ramp real smooth like, in order to help me succeed in my goal. And so as you saw, in my second chance, after listening to his demonstration speech, I actually succeeded, thanks to him.
So the question is, how do we improve our demonstrative speaking? There are a couple ways that you can improve your demonstrative speaking when trying to help someone out. The first is to use language that they'll understand. See, if Brady was using some gibberish, Parker would have had no clue. Although he was demonstrating, you still got to speak and you got to make sense. The second is to anticipate any questions or problems. Parker very well could have been confused the first time around, and if he were to ask multiple questions, Brady could have been prepared for that. I believe Brady would have been prepared for that, but that's one way to help yourself out. The third is practice. This goes for any type of speaking, but if you practice over and over again, like Brady probably has before sliding down the rail, you're gonna be great.
Hello,
Oh, hey.
my name's Carter. It's nice to meet you.
Carter. I'm Blake.
I'm interested in the elevator technician position here
Why so? Should I hire you?
because your elevator sucks.
Why does my elevator suck? And
Doesn't work well.
what can you do to improve it?
Using my skills as an elevator technician and my degree in elevator engineering, I know a lot about elevators. Also, I'm very hardworking, and I have a lot of good skills that I can use. In an elevator speech, you're trying to convince someone why you want to be hired or why you want a position. In this scenario, person that walks in, they want to be hired as an elevator technician at the high school. And the job interviewer asks what some of his qualities are, and that's what you should say when you're trying to get into a position. So like, what I did is I explained good qualities about myself. So in an elevator speech, you don't want to explain bad qualities because then the person doesn't want to hire you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Blake Horn, and today I am here with you to talk about the amazing wrestling career of Carter Hill. Carter didn't start out as a stud by any means. In fact, he was a goofier, less coordinated athlete. Carter started out fighting against his cousin, who he says would repeatedly smoke him, whatever that means. But the repeated beatings that Carter's cousin gave him fueled the fire. And because of that, Carter never gave up. Carter would take his talents to Warrensburg Latham High School, as he would compete for the Cardinals as a member of the Mount Pulaski Warrensburg Latham Co-op. Here, he would not establish dominance early, but establish the seed of what would be soon to come. Carter did okay his freshman year, and slowly as time went on, he built up more and more into his sophomore year. Eventually, Carter felt like the bird had to leave the nest. The comfortability that he had in the Warrensburg Latham program was something that he did not wish to continue. So, in the summer going into his junior season, he decided to transfer to Lincoln Community High School, where we now celebrate him today as a regular wrestling legend. Carter established dominance early into his junior season, tech falling the first 4 opponents that he saw. He would eventually go on to set the tech fall record at Lincoln Community High School. one that had been standing for over 20 years. Carter dominated his postseason all the way up until state, where he placed third, something that he promised the next year he would do better. Just that message, he delivered. His senior year, Carter Hill won every single match but one by a pin. That one he did not, he won by tech fall. Carter rolled into regionals with a high head, dominated in such, dominated his sectional, and eventually won every state match by pin. We're here to celebrate Carter today because not only was he a regular legend in the wrestling, he was a great person. Although some say his beliefs were immoral, and sometimes he was a pessimist, he was willing to show love to the others that he found cool and chill. We hang his banner today in celebration of a great career and a great man. So now, it is my pleasure to introduce, for probably my last time, to you all, regular wrestling legend, Carter Hill.
Thank you, Blake, for that wonderful introduction. I'm honored to be up here speaking to you all after my 2 years at Lincoln High School. I have dedicated countless hours to the mat room and the sport of wrestling, and it's great to finally be up here and talking about it. I want to thank everyone that helped me along the way, my dad, my coaches, all my mentors, and my friends, including Blake here. Thank you.
That's going to conclude our service here today, folks. We are going to have cake and punch in the back for those who want such. And we hope that you all have a great day. God bless you all. Thank you for coming in celebration of Carter. Yeah.
So the last speech that you just saw was an extemporaneous speech, one that, you know, is your typical speech, if that makes sense. So it's planned, it's ready to go, it's on a piece of paper, it's out in front of you. Speaker's usually just gonna read off of that. They're gonna look up, obviously make their nonverbal cues and interactions, but it's mostly a script. You're gonna stick to your script. The speaker in our case was speaking about the legendary career of Carter Hill, and I thought it was a great speech. I don't know about you guys, but great script, great execution, and a great career.
As seen in our introduction example, Blake introduced the legendary Carter Hill. He explained he shortened up his career statistics and wrestling accomplishments, and then at the end he introduced Carter because obviously Carter was the one relevant to his topic of speech, and he explained all of his great accomplishments and how he was the greatest wrestler that's ever came through Lincoln Community High School.